Hey everyone, in today's video, I'm going to show you how to clone model instances in Django. So first I'll show you the wrong way to do it, and then I'll show you the correct way to do it. But before I get into that, I quickly want to say, if you want to learn more about database stuff in Django from me, check out my free course called Django Database Essentials. I have a link in the description. It goes to prettyprinted.com/Django database. So if you want to check out this course, then just go there and you can see all the videos. It's a pretty short course, but I cover a bunch of things that you'll need to know for working with models in Django. So here I have a model already called member, and I have a view set up. And what I want to do is I just want to create a first member. So we'll say member1 equals member. So I, of course, need to import this. So from .models, import member, and that should be a capital M. And I'll just create a new member. So Anthony will be the member and location will be Las Vegas. So I'll create this one the first time around, and then from this point on, I'll query for it. But first I've created it, and what I want to do is save it. So member1.save, and let's just save this, and the server should restart. And I'll refresh the page. Okay, so it should have created this one member. So now I'll comment this out and I'll query for that one member. So it should have a member ID of 1. So member.objects, and then filter, or actually I'll just say get pk equals 1. And then I'll pass this the context. So member1 will be member1 just like that. And then inside of the template, what I'll do is I'll say member1, and then we'll have member1 name and the location for member1. So member1.location. Okay, so let's take a look at this when we run it. Okay, so we see member1 Anthony Las Vegas, right? So let's say we want to create a second user. So the way that you don't do it is this. So I'll say member2 equals member1, and then I'll modify member2. So member2 dot name will be, let's say, Billy, and Billy's location will be New York City. And then I'll save member2. And then next, what I'll do is I'll pass member2 to the context, and I'll put it inside the template. So member2, and then member2.name, and member2.location. Okay, so now I'll go to the page and refresh. And we see now that both members have the same name. So Billy for both. So Anthony has been overridden along with Las Vegas, and I only see Billy in New York City. So now for the correct way to do this, I'm going to comment out that. And here for member1, I'll call this, let's say member3. And what I'll do for member3 is before I assign values, so I'll change these all to member3, I want to set the pk to none, so the primary key, and member3.id will be none as well. So depending on how the model is set up, you may only need one, but just to be safe, you can have pk and id. So I'm basically taking whatever is on pk1, setting the primary key and id to none, and then updating the values to something. So I'll put Anthony, and then for location, I'll put Las Vegas again. And now I want to pass member3. And we'll just change this to member3. So I'm querying for member1 with pk1, but by setting pk and id to none, I'm creating a brand new member that won't affect the first member. So actually what I'll do is down here I'll have member1, and then I'll query for it again. So member.objects.get and pk equals 1. So we can see both member1 and member3. So remember, member1 is now Billy instead of Anthony as it was originally. So we'll go and we'll refresh. And now we see different values for both. We see Billy is still member 1 and Anthony is member number 3. So it's basically that simple. So anytime you want to work with an existing object and clone it, you just query for that object, and then you set the primary key and the ID to none, and then you can modify all the values, save it. A new primary key will be generated for that instance, and then you can go ahead and use it without worrying about having affected the original one. So that's it for this video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. Just as a reminder, check out my free course, Django Database Essentials, where you can learn more about how to use the database in Django. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please subscribe. So thank you for watching, and I will talk to you next time.